Welcome to today's explainer, everyone. Come on in, get comfortable. Today, we're diving headfirst into a deeply frustrating conversational trap that, well, let's be real, almost every single one of us has experienced at some point. But very few of us actually know how to name it, let alone defend against it. It's called the questioning motives fallacy. And trust me, learning how to spot this, it is absolutely going to fundamentally change how you handle arguments moving forward.
Okay, let's dive into this. Tell me if this sounds familiar. Have you ever laid out this thoughtful, perfectly reasoned point, only for the other person to just completely ignore your actual words, and instead, they turn around and tell you why you supposedly said it? Yeah. It is uniquely exhausting when your sincerity is bypassed like that, isn't it? You make your case, and then bam, suddenly you're on trial for these hidden motives that you don't even have.
Which brings us to Section 1, when words are ignored, the emotional cost of bypassed arguments. Right, so this right here is the absolute core of that frustration. It's that awful pattern of having your intentions attacked instead of your actual arguments heard. You present a genuine thought, and rather than engaging with it, the other person just flips the spotlight right onto your character. But hey, don't worry. Over the course of this explainer, we are going to untangle this frustrating pattern together, step by step, with a lot of warmth and clarity, so you can successfully reclaim the integrity of your voice. Moving right along to Section 2, the core concept, naming the questioning motives fallacy.
So, the crucial point is really understanding the formal definition here. The questioning motives fallacy happens when someone actively refuses to engage with the substance of your point, bypassing your argument entirely to attack your intentions. They just automatically assume you have this hidden, selfish, or malicious agenda. They decide on the spot that you're just seeking attention, or pushing some secret angle, or acting out of insecurity. And you know what the wildest part is? They do all of this without ever actually asking you if it's true.
Mechanically speaking, here is exactly why people lean on this tactic. First off, it allows them to completely refuse to engage with the actual substance of what you said. Second, it tries to discredit you by assigning this negative intent to your words. Third, and this is a big one, absolutely crucial, it acts as a mechanism for them to avoid accountability. And finally, it forces you to drop your original point, leaving you scrambling to defend your character instead of your ideas. It's like a conversational sleight of hand. If this is resonating with you and you've ever felt your sincerity dismissed just because someone decided they knew your quote-unquote real reason for speaking, please engage in the comments. I read every single one, and I'd really love to hear how this frustrating mechanism shows up in your own life experiences.
All right, let's pick up the pace and look at Section 3, real-world fallacy examples, spotting it in everyday life.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how this plays out at work. Let's say you suggest a really simple process improvement to help the team out. But then, a colleague whispers, "Oh, they're just trying to get noticed by leadership." See what happened there? Notice how the focus shifted entirely from what was said to why it was supposedly said. The actual, potentially valuable idea just gets completely buried under a heavy layer of corporate paranoia.
And sadly, it happens in our close friendships too. Imagine you state a simple, healthy personal boundary, but instead of respecting it, they hit you with, "Well, you only say that because you want to control the conversation." Ouch, right? Suddenly, you are forced right onto the defensive, basically scrambling to prove you aren't some evil mastermind trying to manipulate them, while your original boundary is, you guessed it, completely forgotten. So, how do we fix this? That brings us to Section 4, the 3-step toolkit, how to respond with grace and protect your peace.
Let's move to and see how this builds your highly effective defense. Step 1, name the assumption calmly. You might want to say something like, "I notice you're focusing on my supposed motive rather than my point." Step 2, reaffirm your stated intent. Simply, you just say, "My intention is exactly what I said, to improve this process," or "to honor my boundary." And finally, Step 3, redirect to the content. You ask them, "Can we discuss whether this idea has merit, regardless of why I brought it up?" These 3 simple steps, they literally empower you to halt the fallacy right in its tracks and pull the whole conversation back to exactly where it belongs.
And that leads us perfectly into our final section. Section 5, reclaiming your intentions. Your thoughts matter.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is this profound quote right here. When you use that toolkit, remember this truth. This isn't about proving your purity. It's about insisting that ideas be evaluated on their own terms, not through the lens of assumed bad faith. That is so powerful, isn't it? You absolutely deserve to be heard based purely on what you say, not on some fictional bad faith narrative that someone else tries to invent about your heart. You are seen, you are valued, and your actual words hold immense weight.
Before we wrap up today's explainer, I really want to leave you with a provocative thought to chew on. What happens when they stop questioning your motives, and instead they put on a lab coat and claim to have diagnosed your entire psyche? Seriously, how do you respond when someone uses pseudo-psychology to dismiss your truth, claiming you only believe something because of your childhood trauma or a cognitive bias, as if they've somehow unlocked the secret code to your brain? Well, we are going to explore exactly that, the psychologist's fallacy, in our next explainer. Until then, thank you so much for sharing this space with me. Stay curious, stay kind, and remember to join me every single day for your daily coffee for your mind. See you next time.